6:17 a.m. and welcome to Sunrise here on Tobago Updates Television. I am your host, Lavian Cupid, and we are coming to you live from downtown, the Port Mall to be exact, Scarborough in the beautiful island of Tobago. Today is Tuesday, December 16 to 2025, 3 days away from Nomination Day this Friday at 4 locations here on the island. Political parties are in high gear, ready to convince you why you should choose their party come January 12, 2026. So I hope you will be viewing Tobago Updates. We would be bringing you coverage of Nomination Day. I want to thank you so much for choosing us this morning, choosing Sunrise to wake you up. It's always a pleasure to be seated here before you to bring you all things Tobago, but also we give you something Trinidad and Tobago as a wider community, regionally and internationally in our morning brief. As per usual, we have a beautiful show lineup for you this morning as we dive into the Tobago House of Assembly election 2026 and we discuss various topics surrounding the election. Yesterday we would have had Martin George, prominent attorney at law, here speaking on accusations that are being flung on podiums back and forth. And that's on both sides. But we had zoned in on some comments made by Chief Secretary Farley Augustine. And so today we are going to have the TTPS on, but they're going to be speaking to us strictly from a white collar crime perspective, and we're going to be getting some clarity on that. But of course, as per usual, I'm going to bring you updated to all things current affairs, Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago, regionally and internationally. So starting off this morning, a total of 8 Tobago-based steel orchestras have successfully secured their spots in the semi-final round after remarkable performances at the Trinbago Panorama Preliminaries 2026, showcasing the island's musical excellence on the national stage. Leading the Tobago contingent is the Uptown Fascinators Steel Orchestra, which delivered a stellar performance to tie for second place with a score of 269 points. They are closely followed by TNTech New East Side Dimension, which secured a strong fourth place tie with 267 points. Other qualifying bands in this order are from Uptown Fascinators Steel Orchestra, TNTech New East Side Dimension, Alpha Pan Pioneers, First Citizens Tobago Panthers Steel Orchestra, Plymouth Bethesda Steel Sensation, Our Boys Steel Orchestra, West Side Symphony Steel Orchestra, C&B Concordance Steel Orchestra. The qualified bands will now move forward to the semi-finals, where they will compete for a place in the grand finals. Congratulations. Keeping the culture alive, keeping Tobago on the map. National Carnival coming up there mid-February. Up next, the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation has issued a public advisory regarding the temporary closure of the Mount Irving Beach facility. According to the division, the facility will be closed to the public on Monday, December 15, that was yesterday, and today, Tuesday, December 16, 2025. The closure is necessary to facilitate scheduled chemical treatment at the site. The advisory notes that the closure encompasses the entire facility, including the main building, lawn areas, and the concessionaire area. The division has confirmed that regular operations are scheduled to resume on Wednesday, December 17, 2025. Officials have apologized for any inconvenience caused by this temporary disruption, all right, as they undertake these necessary maintenance works. The Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs has issued a statement informing the public that the ministry has granted approval for the United States military aircraft to transit Trinidad and Tobago's airports in the coming weeks. The United States has indicated that these movements are strictly logistical, facilitating supply replenishment and routine personnel rotations. Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Sean Sobers welcomed Dominica, who is on geopolitical tensions, for taking it internationally. Just a few hours ago, the U.S. military confirmed that it had carried out strikes on 3 boats allegedly trafficking drugs in the Pacific Ocean, killing a total of 8 people. The U.S. Southern Command posted footage of the strikes on social media and said the vessels were, quote, transiting along known narco-trafficking routes and were engaged in narco-trafficking, end quote. More than 20 vessels in the Pacific and the Caribbean have been targeted in recent months, killing at least 90 people as part of President Donald Trump's escalating campaign against gangs he accuses of transporting drugs into his country. Some experts say the strikes could violate laws governing armed conflict. The first strike occurred on September 2nd. So we see 3 more strikes just a few hours ago, as noted by the U.S. military. Information not being circulated within Trinidad and Tobago yet. I want to believe that Tobago Updates, we are the first to bring that to you. 8 more persons would have died, and we see what would have happened. Yesterday, we see Venezuela saying no more gas contracts with Trinidad and Tobago. Begs the question, where does that leave us financially, economically as a country? I think sometimes we forget as Trinbagonians that our heydays, our glory days in oil and gas are over, and so collaboration is what we were looking at. But the Prime Minister says that she has plans for economic growth in Trinidad and Tobago, and of course we are going to support that. We're going to look forward to that, and we're going to hope that we see these plans roll out pretty soon. Thank you so much for choosing us. If you are viewing us via any of our social media handles, you're OG and you're viewing us on Facebook, thank you so much for choosing Sunrise. Thank you so much for choosing Tobago Updates Television, viewing us on a digital flow or AMPLIA. Again, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to bring you all things current affairs right here on Tobago Updates Television. As promised, a packed lineup for you, a good interview for you this morning. But before we do that, we're going to take a break, and we're going to bring you back and show you a clip that is going to bring you up to speed with what has been developing on this topic. So in the meantime, I want you to do me a favor and share the live, but take in the beautiful drone shot that I know the technical team is working on over our wonderful, beautiful Scarborough this morning. Good morning. Look at the port right there. Look at the highway, Shore Park. We've seen it all. Thank you so much to our technical team. So do me a favor, guys, and share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be back.
The Elections and Boundaries Commission wishes to inform all qualified persons who are not registered or are in doubt about their registration status that the electoral registration for the upcoming Tobago House of Assembly elections has begun. There are 8 days left to get your name on the revised list of electors. The final day for electoral registration is Tuesday, 23rd of December, 2025. Check your registration status on the EBC's website at www.ebctt.com or visit your registration area office to ensure your correct name and address are on the preliminary list of electors. To vote is your right, but you must be registered. For further information, please call the EBC hotline at 785-8206 or 785-8211. A message from the Elections and Boundaries Commission, your partners in democracy.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
Bagatelle, Mason Hall South. The Blue Wave is coming to you on Tuesday, December 16th, 5:30 p.m. at Windy's Supermarket Car Park, Bagatelle. Join us for a special evening of prayer and worship, followed by our community meeting at 6 p.m. Come hear your candidate, Natisha Charles Panton, the competent, consistent, and community-driven leader. Joining her, the political leader of the Tobago People's Party and the Honorable Chief Secretary, Fali Chavez Augustine. Come hear the voices shaping Tobago's future. Show up and be counted on Tuesday, December 16th, 5:30 p.m. at Windy's Supermarket Car Park, Bagatelle. Tobago People's Party, anchored in truth, rising with you.
Mount
St. George, Goodwood. The TPP family will be at James Street Junction, Goodwood on Tuesday, 16th December at 7:30 p.m. Come hear your candidate, Miss Megan Morrison, who leads with passion and stands boldly for the voiceless. She will be joined by the political leader of the Tobago People's Party and the Honorable Chief Secretary, Mr. Fali Chavez Augustine. Show up and be counted on Tuesday, 16th December, 7:30 p.m. at James Street Junction, Goodwood. Tobago People's Party, anchored in truth, rising with you.
Goodwood, we vote in Megan, strong and steady, yeah, she's the slogan.
That was a paid political advertisement.
Our flycam giving us beautiful shots of Scarborough, the ocean looking so calm this morning. Thank you so much for choosing Tobago Updates. Thank you so much for choosing Sunrise here this morning. So as I would have told you before we went to that break, we are covering a lot of topics surrounding the Tobago House of Assembly election. And so recently we would have heard some accusations of misconduct or corruption by Chief Secretary Fali Augustine levied against the former People's National Movement administration. We would have spoken to prominent attorney at law Martin George yesterday on his view on it, and today we are taking a strictly a white-collar crime perspective from the TTPS. But before we get into that, I want to bring you up to speed to where we are at. So take a look at this clip. It can almost be coined a trend. Accusations of corruption and misconduct levied against a former or sitting administration by competing political parties during an election season. These accusations are kicked around like a football, but an arrest is never forthcoming. So it begs the question, election gimmick or the need for a criminal investigation? At last week's Bethesda Lescotho political meeting held by the Tobago People's Party, Chief Secretary Fali Augustine, while speaking on the former People's National Movement administration, had this to say.
Over $900 million, close to $1 billion, we inherited as a debt. And I remember carrying it in the house and the minority leader creeping across the floor and saying, well, you in charge now. Fix that now. Over $900 million in debt. And I want you to understand how governance does work. The decision we have to make as a government is to decide if we are going to pay every single cent of that debt every single year and do no development work whatsoever, or we will pay little by little and still do some development work. I want you to also understand, Tobago, what 900 plus million in debt looks like. On an average, we get about $250 million for development expenditure. 900 million mean that is 1 fiscal year, 2 fiscal year, 3 fiscal year, and you still need a 4th fiscal year to cover that entire debt totally. And on top of that, when we looked through the files, we saw that the former regime took a loan, a massive loan. They pulled out $165 million. They claimed that we had emergency roadworks to be done because of inclement weather. They gave out contracts to their friends willy-nilly. They spent out the $165 million. Then they still gave out more contracts on top of that. Because remember, they were hoping to retain the THC and win the election. But they spent out the money and still get their ass cut. And come January 12th, they could bring up all the financiers from Trinidad. They could bring up Penny from Trinidad. They could bring out Rowley from retirement. They could bring out whoever they want. They will get their backside cut come the 12th of January 2026, same way. Anyhow they swing his licks, they get in. And so they spent out the 165 million, and then they issue out a set of contracts as design build finance. What design build finance means is that you're doing the work for free, and then the THL will pay you on the back end. When we commissioned a forensic audit into those works, we see where they had certificates of completion signed by public officers. And when we go on the roads that they claim that they built, the roads were either incomplete, the roads were shorter than what this certificate of completion said. They didn't use as much materials as they claimed they used.
In the end, he made a pledge that come January 13, 2026, after winning the election, his administration had intentions of proceeding with a civil suit in an effort to regain monies belonging to the island. But why not a criminal matter? Well, we sought clarity from prominent attorney at law Martin George. When asked at what point does accusations move from political to a criminal investigation, Mr. George had this to say.
Well, the thing is, if one really looks at the history of Trinidad and Tobago, unfortunately, it's a history of corruption, particularly when it comes to public procurement and the spending of, the nation's purse. We can go as far back as the days of, the Jean Miles and the gas station racket. Remember, she was the whistleblower then, even though the term wasn't popular, in that time. But, the racket that was going on with the gas station contracts, she's the one who blew the whistle, and he suffered tremendously for so doing. You think back to the Lockheed Martin scandal with the pipes for Wassa that they were supposed to put down, and I mean, you go on and on. The Piarco Airport corruption scandal, Caroni 1975, you had scandals with BWIA, that's before it became CAL, so I mean, the point is, unfortunately, we've had a very sad history of public officials abusing the power that they have and, dipping into the public purse and, profiting for themselves. And the reality is that what we have seen in Trinidad and Tobago is basically a revolving door, in the sense that you have one administration in power and they blame the previous administration and say, well, they have stolen money, they have done this, that, the other, and then when they are out of power, then the incoming administration says the same thing about them, and it's almost as if we in Trinidad and Tobago seem to take it for a big joke. But the reality is we are actually damaging the patrimony of the nation, and we are really, doing a disservice to the future of our young people and our children, because you ask yourself, what sort of nation will they inherit if we continue with this, unabated corruption at, these phenomenal levels? So it really is a question that needs to be, looked at seriously, and people in Trinidad and Tobago need to confront our politicians, our leaders about these issues and ensure that something is done.
But today, we want some clarity from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service on white-collar crime. What does the law constitute as such, and how does such an investigation proceed? Some insights there from prominent attorney at law Martin George on the part of the clip that was played previously. Viewers, I want to state explicitly that this morning, when we have Sergeant Joseph Jordan from the TTPS Fraud Squad here in Tobago to speak on the topic of white-collar crime, he would be speaking from an apolitical standpoint. He would not be speaking on the matters that were specifically discussed on the podium, but rather giving us a broader insight into how the TTPS will pursue and process and possibly even prosecute white-collar crime. All right, so Sergeant Jordan, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us on Sunrise.
Good morning. Good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. Thanks for having me.
Not
Look
hearing
forward.
you.
Hello.
I'm hearing you now, sir. Good morning. Welcome to Sunrise.
Good morning to you. Good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. Thanks for having me.
Of course, always a pleasure. So we're speaking on white collar crime this morning, and you are the personnel in charge, the officer in charge of the fraud squad here on the island. I want you to tell me, is it that we have something called or a law under which is it called procurement fraud, or is it just larceny? How is that coined exactly? Bring some clarity to that for me.
All right. So in Trinidad and Tobago, we have offenses under the Larceny Act that treats with person stealing or depriving other persons permanently of their items. And under that Larceny Act, you can take something from someone through a fraudulent means. Now, fraud basically refers to some sort of trickery, some sort of deception, and that is where you actually create the offenses, the fraud offenses. As I indicated, it is under the Larceny Act, Chapter 11:12. There are a number of avenues to which the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service conduct these investigations as relates to fraud and larceny. Generally, the larceny offenses are what we consider as being simple, while the fraud matters or fraud cases are referred to as complex in nature. They may have multiple aspects of an offense. So you may find such things as larceny trick, larceny intimidation, larceny fine, larceny mistake. So these are some of the avenues to which some of our perpetrators or dishonest persons may explore. Also, with fraudulent activities, one of the components that sometimes stands out is the aspect of forgery. And as a result of persons maybe forging the signature of, let's say, for example, their supervisor or the manager, and they may obtain goods and services on behalf of or claim to receive goods on behalf of the company or the state, as the case may be, but in fact they are using it to their own benefit. And this is where the aspect of fraudulent activities comes in. So offenses such as fraudulent conversion, obtaining by false pretenses, and I want to indicate at this point, generally, when public officers commit these kind of offenses or are found to be misappropriating funds within a state entity, we have a general classification of the Common Law Act that refers to misbehavior in public office. And that offense is strictly for public officials. So that is where they may use public funds to benefit themselves or to sometimes, as we in our common term, award contracts and kickbacks and these things. So that is where that type of offense would occur.
Could you bring some clarity for me on the meaning exactly from your perspective, from your office where you sit, of white collar crime?
Right. So white collar crime are those crimes that we generally refer to as I got examples like persons who works in offices, who works at administrative buildings. These are not violent crimes, so you don't necessarily attack somebody physically. These are crimes that are mostly conducted through documentary evidence. So, as I already indicated, something like forgery would fall under white collar crime, as compared to what we see as blue collar crimes, which would more involve sometimes attack on property, attacks on personnel, so like robbery, house breaking, and these kind of offenses. These are what we consider blue collar crime as versus the white collar crime, which is more aligned to officials and where documentary evidence is generally used as the evidence to bring the matter to the forefront.
All right, as you say, white collar crime does not constitute physical violence. So it's documentation, it's from a more technocrat point of view, officials and whoever the other technocrats working under them. This one signature, that one signature, was supposed to be there, was it not supposed to be there? But have you in your years seen where the fallout of white collar crime and ended up with some sort of violence?
Certainly. This is where sometimes persons may take the law into their own hands, and this is one of the aspects of law enforcement and governance that the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service as well as the state try and avoid, because sometimes persons may have been wronged, as they would say, and they find it very difficult to wait on the procedure according to law, and it may result in an assault, it may result in a murder, unfortunately, violent crime. So there is the avenue or the escalation where white collar crime can turn into violent, or where we say blue collar crimes, in Trinidad and Tobago and across the world.
How does law enforcement draw the line between poor administrative duties, like not seeing something through thoroughly, putting your signature on a document that you didn't read thoroughly, and whether or not it was an intentional criminal conduct?
All right. So as it relates to that aspect, one must look at the policies of the state entity or the organization or the administration. Excuse me. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. There are policies that would exist within a company. So, for example, instances where arrangements are made are generally done through contractual arrangement. So, if, for example, you need to buy a specific equipment, there are aspects where we refer to as procurement, and you would have your procurement procedure. And as of course, Trinidad and Tobago do have a procurement act that treats with state funds and how these funds are dispensed. So therefore, the policies that exist within the company, along with the procurement the procurement act treats with these aspects and allows for the policies that are designed should be followed by the personnel so mandated to do. Now, if there are shortcomings in this aspect, what is required is for that organization, that company, that entity, for them to do their necessary checks and balances, and that is usually done through an audit. And in the instance of, for clarity, we often recommend that we do an independent audit, or something we refer to as a forensic audit, to make sure that all that has been put forward is cleared and is accounted for. So therefore, accountability by the persons involved is what is required in order for us to have a precise, honest, and a genuine aspect to what you are purchasing or what you are engaging in between a service provider and a customer.
So just for some clarity, this forensic audit, you said the TTPS might take this service from a third party. Is it that the TTPS doesn't have a unit that is able to do this independently for themselves? And how does the TTPS find that trust in the third party that would be conducting this very, very important and intricate investigation or audit?
All right. So for clarity purpose now, so for example, I will use examples to be clear as possible. Mm-hmm. If someone comes to the fraud squad, or a company comes to the fraud squad and indicated that they probably have some employees that have been stealing from them, or they suspect that they are stealing from them, what we often do, we ask that person who is reporting on behalf of the company that they do a comprehensive audit of their stocks or what they may consider to have been stolen. When you do that, some persons will do it internally. However, for as you referred, for clarity and for trust, we ask that an independent and a forensic audit be done, and this should be done by a reputable accounting agency to which the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service can refer to. Right? So that is where we would align our trust and confidence in order to get the evidence that is required for the police service to do a genuine investigation.
All right. Sergeant Jordan, what kind of evidence does the TTPS need before they could dive deep or even launch or officially say we are launching an investigation into this report that was made? And I want to believe that there's a standard of evidence first that you will have to accept.
Right. I'm glad that you refer to the word of standard of evidence. Now, in Trinidad and Tobago, there are two aspects of the law. There is civil law, which stands in the balance of probability, and that is usually where people would say, sue somebody to get back your money. Right? Now, and there's also the aspect of criminal law, and the standard as it relates to criminal law is beyond reasonable doubt. Now, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, what we do is criminal investigations, and this means that the evidence that we must present before the court in order to get a conviction must be beyond reasonable doubt. So, in conducting an investigation, what is required is a report made to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. That is the first step. Having received the report, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service would now conduct inquiries, and inquiries would include interviewing persons, recording statements, interrogating where necessary, gathering the evidence. So, as I say, who alleges must prove. So we have to look into your allegation, and based on what evidence that we would have unearthed, then we would now move to the aspect of compiling this evidence and putting it together to generally formalize a case. Once there's sufficient ingredients to establish a case, then the necessary charges may be preferred, having been advised by our legal advisors, and we would present it to the court. Now, there are aspects of some offenses, as I would have indicated, such as like the misbehavior in public office that refers to public officials, the DP Director of Public Prosecution. That office is the office that generally would guide the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service in pursuing these matters and prosecuting them.
How often within Tobago does the TTPS receive cases of that type of fraud? Not necessarily from misconduct in public office, but just white-collar crime fraud. Is your department overwhelmed, busy, slow? How often? If you can answer that.
All right, so those offenses, generally, that is what the fraud squad has been established to. Now, the offenses, or those type of allegations rather, they would come to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service fraud squad on a fairly regular basis. So, with the establishment of the fraud squad in Tobago for over the last 2 years, we would have seen figures roughly to the tune of about 40 reports per year as it relates to fraudulent matters. Right? Now, fraudulent matters, they are complex, they take some time. So it is an area where the necessary expertise, the patience, the knowledge must be applied in order to get the ingredients to satisfy that this allegation can be taken before a court of law.
All right, but have you seen a rise, or is there a steady? Is it at a steady point or a decrease?
All right, so over the 2.5 years since we have been at the Chauvin Road Police Station, I would consider it as I should say, upon the establishment of the office in Tobago, we had a steady flow of persons coming to report, because initially persons would have had to visit Trinidad to make their report, or the information would have to be transmitted to Trinidad. So in our first year of existence, we would have seen a steady flow of persons now coming forward to report instances. So it is one that is relatively consistent, it's a consistent flow. I will not say it is one that is ridiculously alarming, because some persons may come, but they may not want any police investigation. Some persons may come for advice. Some persons may not want to pursue the matter when the process is explained. So it is one that is concerning, and it is an alarming sufficient, because people are losing their monies, and when persons work hard, they want back their money. And I must point out at this point in time that the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, in particular the fraud squad, when persons come to make a report, it's not for us to get back your money. Right? We are not a debt collection center. We conduct investigations because we are dealing with criminal aspect of the offense. And if the offense is sufficient, it will be taken before the court, and the court or the justice system would apply the necessary punishment as relates to the perpetrator. For persons who wish to get back their money, we often advise that they take a civil action against the person, so at least in that court, they can be compensated for their loss during their time of despair.
Right, and right before we wrap here, Saj, I just want to ask you, I'm pretty sure that even during popular seasons like right now, a campaign season, the police might be getting extra reports or something new or something old. But how does the TTPS ensure that they stay apolitical within seasons like these, or even if, out of season and an entity might try to drag the TTPS into something just so that they could use it as leverage? How does the TTPS stay apolitical?
All right. So fundamentally, I will refer to how an investigation is conducted. First, there must be a report for the police to investigate, right? And our mandate in Trinidad and Tobago is to serve the personnel and the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And this service must be done in an equitable and fair manner. There is no preferential treatment to any citizen in Trinidad and Tobago when it comes to
going over to
crime.
Renessa, right?
Right, as it relates to crime. So therefore, we don't have an issue in treating persons any differently. We remain objective as it relates to offenses. We further respect each one's rights, and we must admit that every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago is governed by the constitution of these two islands, and all the laws applies to all citizens, whether you are in an influential position, even if you are a displaced individual, even though you are a middle-class citizen. The laws of Trinidad and Tobago applies to everyone, and the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service conducts itself in a professional and dignified avenue, in a dignified way, to ensure that justice is equitable across the board.
Right. Thank you so much, Sergeant Joseph Jordan from the TTPS right here, Tobago Division Fraud Squad. Thank you so much for speaking to us on white collar crime, hearing from the TTPS. Viewers, well, that is it for Sunrise this morning. But here on Tobago Updates Television, the programming is never done. We head on over to the morning show with the lovely Renessa. Renessa, good morning.
Good morning, Lavion. Good morning. How are you this morning?
I am well. And Akinlabi, how could I forget you there? Good morning, Akinlabi.
Good morning. How are you?
I am well. It is always a pleasure to see you guys this morning. I'm pretty sure you have a very engaging lineup for us on the morning show.
Indeed, we do.
Yes, as usual, we have a very engaging lineup, and you had quite an interesting interview yourself this morning. It's always good to hear from the TTPS and giving persons a bit more information. Sometimes with these very important subjects, we tend to, sometimes there are information gaps, and it's good to have the TTPS on board and Tobago Updates to really fill those gaps and give the public more information.
Of course, and yesterday, Attorney at Law Martin George was saying that for decades, Trinidad and Tobago, especially once you're in a political season, election season, these allegations of corruption, they go back and forth from party to party, and we have become acclimatized to it, that citizens don't take the seriousness of it. And so this morning, speaking to the TTPS, we really want persons to understand this is what white collar crime looks like. And remember that whatever monies that may or may not have gone missing or wherever it went, that is your money, your future, your children's future. And so it is definitely a case that we should never take allegations lightly, and we should look to the sitting government to prosecute those that they claim would have done wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, always. All right, guys. So thank you so much, and I know that viewers will be looking forward to a very engaging show with you. Well, that's it for Sunrise here on Tobago Updates Television. Tomorrow we get right back into the communities and we speak with you on whether you are pleased, displeased, satisfied, not that satisfied. You're looking forward to more after January 12, 2026 with the current administrations of past, or what are you even going to be voting this election? So we dive right back into the communities, and we have a packed show here for you right here on Sunrise Tobago Updates Television. Thank you again for choosing us. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning. As usual, sending you over to the morning show. Have a beautiful day.
Welcome to Belgro's Funeral Home, where we celebrate life's precious moments. From the moment you enter our doors, you're met with kindness and care. Our reception area is designed to be more than just a waiting room. It is a place of calm, thoughtfully created to ease the weight of grief. In our private conference room, conversations are guided by empathy. Here, our client experience coordinators sit beside you, not just across the table to help plan a service that truly reflects your loved one's story. Whether it's a traditional farewell or a personalized celebration of life, we take time to understand your wishes and offer thoughtful guidance. At the heart of our organization is a dedicated manager who ensures that everything runs smoothly, from the smallest detail to the final farewell. We understand that choosing a casket or a coffin is a deeply personal decision. In our selection room, we provide a calm, respectful environment where families can take their time and explore options that reflect their loved one's life, beliefs, and preference. Our spacious chapel is where memories are honored and lives are celebrated, designed with serenity and warmth. It provides a welcoming space for families and friends to come together in reflection and remembrance. For families choosing cremation, we offer on-site professional cremation services in a setting that upholds dignity, peace, and confidentiality. Our crematorium offers a seamless and respectful alternative to traditional burial, giving families flexibility while maintaining the highest standard of care.
place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. Today is Tuesday, December the 16th, 2025. I keep saying November, I don't know why, but we are in December, Tuesday, December the 16th, 2025. I'm your host, Akinlabi Holder, and it's good to be here with you this morning. I know you've been up since 6 a.m. to get into Sunrise Tobago. Yes, and I'm in studio here with the lovely Renessa Ortiz. Good morning, Renessa.
Good morning, Akinlabi. I honestly believe that you're not ready for the year 2025 to end. That's why you're continuously saying that we're in the month of November.
Yes.
I believe you probably had a really good year. So coming to the end and to the close, it's a bit unsteady for you. That's why you keep saying November. Good morning to our viewers. Thank you for joining us here on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. I'm your host, Renessa Ortiz, and it's always a pleasure to have you here viewing us in studio.
Yes, so viewers, we have a very interesting show for you this morning. We're going to be talking to a couple of NGOs and even government agencies to discuss some very pressing issues that are at the forefront of the news in Trinidad and Tobago. So we have a very interesting interview. Stay with us. We want you to be with us throughout all these discussions. But before we get into any of that, we head on over to our news in 90 seconds.
And here's what's making news in 90 seconds for Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. A total of 8 Tobago-based steel orchestras have successfully secured their spots in the semi-final round after remarkable performances at the Pan-Trinbago Panorama Preliminaries 2026, showcasing the island's musical excellence on the national stage. Leading the Tobago contingent is the Uptown Fascinators Steel Orchestra, which delivered a stellar performance to tie for second place with a score of 269 points. They are closely followed by the T&Tech New East Side Dimension, which secured a strong fourth place tie with 267 points. The qualifying Tobago bands and their official scores are: second place, Uptown Fascinators Steel Orchestra with 269 points. Fourth place, T&Tech New East Side Dimension, 267 points. 10th place, Alpha Pan Pioneers with 262 points. 11th place, First Citizens Tobago Panthers Steel Orchestra with 269 points. 16th place, Plymouth Bethesda Steel Sensation with 258 points. 25th place, All Boys Steel Orchestra at 248 points. 27th place, West Side Symphony Steel Orchestra, 246 points. 27th place, C&B Concordance Steel Orchestra with 246 points. The top position nationally went to Southern Stars Steel Orchestra with 272 points. The qualified bands will now move forward to the semi-finals, where they will compete for a place in the grand finals. Up next, the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation has issued a public advisory regarding the temporary closure of the Mount Irving Beach facility. According to the division, the facility will be closed to the public on Monday, December 15th and today, Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. The closure is necessary to facilitate scheduled chemical treatment at the site. The advisory notes that the closure encompasses the entire facility, including the main building, lawn areas, and the concessionaire area. The division has confirmed that regular operations are scheduled to resume on Wednesday, December 17, 2025. Officials have apologized for any inconvenience this temporary disruption may cause and have thanked the public for their understanding as they undertake these necessary maintenance works. And finally, the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs has issued a statement informing the public that the ministry has granted approval for United States military aircraft to transit Trinidad and Tobago's airports in the coming weeks. The United States has indicated that these movements are strictly logistical, facilitating supply replenishment and routine personnel rotations. Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, Sean Sobers, welcomed the continued collaboration, noting that Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar has affirmed the government's dedication to pursuing safety for the wider region. On the heels of this development, the government of Venezuela has cancelled all future gas deals with Trinidad and Tobago. These and other stories in our major newscast at 6:30 p.m. Be viewing Tobago Updates Television. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Well, thank you very much, Vanessa, for that news in 90 seconds. And we could see where, even though we're in the Christmas season, Carnival has already begun, and Panorama Small Band prelims taking place, and the semi-finals, I believe, are supposed to take place, if I'm not mistaken, this weekend, Vanessa. So we see the Tobago bands excelling once again.
Yes.
I know last year all the bands made it to the semis, and they've repeated this year. They've done the same, and we say congratulations to all the Tobago bands, and we wish them all the best in the semi-finals. If we could get all 8 of them into the finals.
I know it's always a good time when Tobago has their representatives in Trinidad representing us on a national scale. I know we always ask for that opportunity to showcase ourselves and to be given a fair chance, and seeing all these bands being showcased and placing, it's remarkable, and it shows to their dedication and the hard work that they have been putting in.
Yes, that's so. We wish them all the best moving forward. And also we see the geopolitical situation ramping up once again. There was a bit of a lull there, but now we see that Trinidad and Tobago has given additional permissions for the U.S. military to operate within our airports. And as a consequence, we've seen that Venezuela has cancelled all gas sharing arrangements with Trinidad and Tobago. So all the shared fields, I'm not sure, I don't know if we could function with them anymore. We'll have to find other ways of making income for the nation.
And you're seeing a lot of commentary, especially here in the Tobago space, especially when the radar first went up, and now seeing this, it's quite alarming, as well as it also positions and gives the citizens a bit of fear. They're wondering what is the next step, how is this going to impact Tobago, especially when we know Tobago is a ward of Trinidad, and all of the conversations that have been going on, especially in the realm of autonomy and Tobago's autonomy. So it's interesting to see how this would play out and what would be the outcome of it.
Well, hopefully we can just pray for the best and let the leaders, the wisdom that we hope that our leaders have, comes to the forefront, and that things work out for the best. Well, Vanessa, it is time to celebrate with those who are celebrating with us. It's time for our birthday shout-outs. Yes, and here at Tobago Updates, we like to celebrate with those who are celebrating whatever you're celebrating. And we start the birthday shout-outs by saying happy birthday to Miss Monique Jack. Happy birthday to you, Miss Jack. We know today's your special day. You're going to celebrate well, and we hope you celebrate safe. And celebrate with those who love you and keep you close and dear to your heart, and to share you with a lot of positivity today, and that you can have the best day possible.
Up next, we have Miss Tanisha Henry. Good morning from the Tobago Updates family, and happy birthday to you. You look really beautiful in this picture. I hope that today is filled with lots of love and laughter, plenty joy, and I hope that you are spending it with the ones who matter the most.
And finally, we say happy birthday to Miss Jillian Joseph. Look at that smile. Yes, and very vibrant colors in the Christmas season. Happy birthday to you, Miss Joseph. God's richest blessings on your special day. This is the day that you entered the earth, and you've blessed so many people with your presence. You've been a blessing to so many people. We pray that you continue to be a blessing, and you celebrate today. You celebrated well, and you celebrated safe, and that the next upcoming year you are showered with all successes possible. All right, ladies and gentlemen, whatever you're celebrating, whether it be a birthday, anniversary, you've graduated from secondary school, you have your bachelor's degree, your master's, your PhD, whatever, you sold a business, you started a business, you made a business deal, you bought a house, you got a new apartment, whatever you're celebrating, we want to celebrate with you. So send your information to Tobago Updates, and we will celebrate with you. Tobago will celebrate with you. Trinidad will celebrate with you. The Caribbean, the world, everyone will celebrate with you. So, Vanessa, who do we have on the show this morning?
Now this morning, the theme seems to be speaking about violence against women. I know it's 12 days of activism. So on our rundown this morning, we have Mr. Alan Ferguson. He's the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Scrap Iron Dealers Association, and he's going to talk about government intervention, especially when it comes to violence against women.
Right.
And right after that, we're going to have Miss Shelley Ann John. She's the head of department at Social Protection, and she's also here to talk about violence against women, but in the form of an event that they will be having to draw the line against violence, and that's a two-part segment.
All right, thank you very much, Vanessa. So we see the NGOs and government agencies coming up in response to the spate of domestic violence cases that we've had, unfortunately, in Trinidad and Tobago in the past few weeks. So we have some very important conversations to be had. Thank you for logging on and viewing with us, whether it's on our Facebook Live or YouTube page. 102 on AMPLIA, 121 or 130 on Flow, 133 on Digicel. You're in Tobago, you're in Trinidad, the Caribbean, the wider world. We thank you very much for logging on to Tobago's #1 television station. And we ask you to do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. When we come back, we start our discussions.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
Drop the anchor.
Mount St. George, Goodwood. The TPP family will be at James Street Junction, Goodwood, on Tuesday, 16th December at 7:30 p.m. Come hear your candidate, Miss Megan Morrison, who leads with passion and stands boldly for the voiceless. She will be joined by the political leader of the Tobago People's Party and the Honorable Chief Secretary, Mr. Fali Chavez Augustine. Show up and be counted on Tuesday, 16th December, 7:30 p.m. at James Street Junction, Goodwood. Tobago People's Party, anchored in truth, rising with you.
Goodwood, we voting Megan, strong and steady, yeah, she's the slogan.
That was a paid political advertisement.
Better watch out, you better not cry, better not fight, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town, Santa Claus is coming to town, Santa Claus is coming to town. Hey, he's making a list, he's checking it twice, he's gonna find out who's naughty or nice.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, Trinidad and Tobago! Santa Claus is coming to Charon's at Lowlands Mall to stock up on all the goodies for good boys and girls. I'm checking my list, and Charon's has everything I need. Christmas decorations, curtains, toys, and so much more. And the best part? The best prices in town. So hurry down, folks. Visit Charon's today, before the shelves are empty. Ho, ho, ho! Charon's at Lowlands Mall, where Christmas shopping starts.
Tobago! This coming Wednesday, 17th December, is the last day to buy your winning ticket for the Queen's Royal College 3-car raffle.
I want a piece of pork, I want a piece of pork for me Christmas.
First prize is a luxurious, fully loaded Royal Ride Ford Ranger. Draw date Saturday, December 20th at the school. Tickets only $100. All proceeds for the further uplifting of the school. Tickets available from islandetickets.com. Stumpy's Emporium Canaan, Cad Supermarket Lowlands, Terry Brown Supermarket Mount Pleasant, Pablo Supermarket Argyle, Miles Almondos and Company Limited Scarborough, Yachts Marketing, TB Mart Bonaccord, Cost Cutters, Charon Bookstores Lowlands, Police Credit Union, Caribbean Jewelers Lowlands, Jade Monkey Bar Milford Road Crown Point. Don't be lucky and coward. Get your tickets now. Queen's Royal College Christmas 3-car raffle.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions, powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
Deltec Distributors Christmas Specials is here. Choose from our festive meat packages at unbeatable prices, perfect for your holiday feast. Hurry, limited packages. Order now. Package 1, $4.99. 11 pounds of leg of Thai chicken, 5 pounds pork, 5 pounds turkey, 1 picnic ham, 1 1-liter pear tracks. Package 2, $4.99. 11 pounds leg of Thai chicken, 5 pounds pork, 5 pounds turkey cubes, 1 chicken ham, 1-liter pear tracks. Package 3, $600. 11 pounds leg of Thai chicken, 5 pounds pork, 5 pounds turkey wings, 1 whole turkey, 1-liter pear tracks. Package 4, $535. 11 pounds leg of Thai chicken, 5 pounds pork, 5 pounds turkey wings, 3 pounds fish ham, 1-liter pear tracks for $359-5040 or 237-0102. Delivery available for just $20. Deltec Distributors, Main Road, Argyle, Tobago.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. It's who we are at the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. We're deepening our commitment to the region, continuing to invest in the networks, services, and digital solutions that move Caribbean businesses forward. Whether you are a mid-sized business or multinational player, we bring you resilient connectivity, personalized service, and tailored IT solutions, all powered by local teams that truly have your back. We're here to help you navigate challenges, grow, and achieve your goals with practical solutions, reliable networks, and a partnership rooted in trust and your long-term success. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Ho, 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 ho! Merry Christmas!
What's on your Christmas wish list? And can you do it with $75,000 at 0.75%? Bethel Credit Union is making your Christmas wishes come true with our 75 in 25 Christmas loan sale. Get up to $75,000 in loans at a special 0.75% interest rate as we celebrate 75 years of service, strength, and community. So, whether it's home upgrades, holiday travel, or treating the ones you love, we've got you covered. Bethel Credit Union, we see you and we're here for you.
It's Christmas time again, and if you're looking for somewhere to get all your Christmas decorations, you'll find the right place. Christmas trees, jingle bells, pine cones, gift boxes, ornaments, flowers, and so much more. And 'tis the season to give. Get a wide variety of toys, from dolls, bicycles, racing cars, toy trucks, board and card games, and everything in between. Get your gift wrapping paper and gift bags too. Whatever decorations you need this Christmas, we have it at Terrific Ideas.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. And we have on the line with us Mr. Alan Ferguson, who is the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Scrap Iron Dealers Association. And he's here to talk about his call for government intervention in violence against women. Good morning and welcome, sir.
Good morning to you and good morning to your viewers. It's a pleasure to be on this program this morning.
So, Mr. Ferguson, we know of the recent spate of violence against women that has resulted in unfortunate death. Is this the reason that has motivated you to begin this call for government intervention?
Well, it's a continuum of the attack on women. And when I look at it, and I see the importance of women, sometimes I don't think some people in society understand the importance of women. Women is the mother, women is the aunt, Woman is with sisters. Woman is with grandmother. Woman is sacrificed by putting us in the belly for 9 months. Woman is take the sacrifice to make sure that they take care of us until we reach men or till we reach women. Women is so important in society, and that is why we need to take some steps to get involved in trying to straighten out the situation with the attack on women. It's very important that the government of the day look at it in the community, look what is taking place, and it's not about just seeing about the women, because the men have to see about the women also. And if we take care of the men by giving them job and counseling them how to handle a woman, because sometimes them young people and the men today, some of the men today don't know how to deal with women, because you see, sometimes women seems to have a strong way with the mouth to try to get you vexed. And if you don't know how to handle that way of dealing with the woman, because you think that because what they tell you is a way to get them bam or bust their face because they tell you something hurtful, you have to understand what you need to conquer these words that is come out of their mouth. Because sometimes women tell you some things to get you vexed. But that
now, Mr. Ferguson, you made a very interesting point that sometimes women say things to get men vexed. But when men are killing women over what you described as something small in one of your articles, what does that say about the emotional control and accountability of women in society? And what are some of the things that you, as the president of the Scrap Iron Association, can do? I know you are calling on the government, but sometimes some of these initiatives need to start with us, especially some of us as the business people. So what are your thoughts on that?
What we continue doing things. Just about 2 weeks ago, we had a program in Enterprise where we had hundreds of people, and we was talking to the young women. And people on my platform was telling the women how to choose the partner. Because, one of these important things is not about just going and pick up a man, a husband or a man. You need to choose a strong partner. You need to look at him. You need to investigate and him, because you see some people just believe because you look nice, you have on a nice pants and you have on a nice shirt or jersey, you're nice. But when you look at the brains and the person's brain and how they think and what they think about society, these are the things that women need to look at. Because you don't want to go and marry a man or put a man put in a house, and the man is a brutal beater. A man don't like to work. He don't know how to treat women. You have to look at all these things, because these are the things that we tell the women, and then to look at the men and the mothers. The mothers just help out the young woman how to choose a man, and that is why you have to have confidence in your mother and your father how to be able to choose a man for a person for your daughter, and same was with the young person coming up, how to choose a woman for the daughter. For the son, because you see society, how the things woke up now and how the things is going on with people, it's just a wash past. And as I mentioned in my early statement, some people looking at some of the women looking at the man nice car, how the car looking blinging, how the car looking nice, and that is not the person's mind. And these are the things, how much petty going and how you like to go to nice pet, and how.
You spoke about, so we're talking about women being wiser in their choices in terms of the men that they choose, but we're talking about an issue where men seem to lose control of their emotions and they go into these states of violence. What can we do as a society to train men to have better control over the emotional state of being?
Well, I think this is a beautiful question you ask, and this is part of my statement that I make. I think that government You see, the government need to come in and get intervention, get into this, because I mean, we have a society that we need. The society need help. We need to set up in communities. You hear what I say? Communities. That's how you need to set up real people. Real people meaning that people who understand women and who understand men, to counsel the women and talk to the women, because majority of the community, the mothers and them and the fathers, it's shocking to say that them don't even know how to talk to the children. They don't know how to tell what to talk to the young people and how to talk to them, how to able to. So if the government set up things in communities to work with the women, and also we working with the men too, so you need to set up some things that have people. It have old teachers. It have people that understand pastors. It have people who understand society and understand how to deal with women and how to counsel these things and how to grow them. I mean, how to teach them how to deal with matters like these. And if we don't find these people, then we in a bad state. We have problem and we can't solve it, because these is problems that we need to solve. You know, this the brutal attack on women and killing women because they're not doing what we think they're supposed to do, and when we have problems, we're not walking away or we're not handling it in a proper way as men. We need to fix it, and the only way we could fix it is intervention by putting things in place to deal with it, because the society pack up with it. You know, why you think we having so much of a problem? Why you think young men even going into crime? It's because of sometimes, let me tell you something, women could make men...
Mr. Ferguson,
go ahead.
I know most of the theme that you're speaking about, that some of our women, they need to make wiser choices, but again, it comes back to the community. So as much as a woman needs to make a wise choice, all men also need to be counseled and educated. And you spoke about that. What are some of the initiatives that your NGO, well, the association that you're affiliated with, is going to be doing to help and assist the government? Because while the government can launch their initiatives, it still comes back to the community. What are some of the things that you are going to be doing in the next year, or maybe tomorrow, maybe in the next few weeks, in the next 2 months? What are you going to be doing to ensure that you are playing your role in this fight against domestic violence against all women?
Well, it's so beautiful for you to ask me that question, because I as a organization, in charge of our organization, we go to community, and before I was the president of the association, my work on a Sunday is to go and enlighten people how to conduct themselves as women and as men. And I will continue to go to community. And if you look at our page, you see we out there trying to enlighten the women and them how to deal with problems that they're having, like the men, that sometimes men don't understand how they have to treat women and how to deal with women. You know, sometimes men don't understand women is just a soft kind of a snake with a softer material than them, and they need to treat them in such a beautiful way. And if you continue treating women nice and you continue doing good things, I mean, the only thing that come over good is good, you know. So we will continue as an organization to go to community and try to help as much we could help, because we could do as much as we could do, and you know, we could help as much, but it need more, and that is why we ask for the government intervention. But we will continue doing what we're doing by going and talking to women. We have people in our organization, and we have people who move around with us, and they do a fine job by trying to get the women and the men to understand that it's partners. You're a partner. You will always agree with what in life. You will never agree with every single thing that your partner say in life. But that don't mean to say that you have to bust the woman's face, or you have to do certain things, or you as a woman, you need to also be careful of things that you say to a man. I mean, it has things that you can't control, but I mean, we need to be one another keepers. We need to understand love. love is a thing that sometimes when a woman love a man could pull up a woman up a tree with cobweb, first is the love. Love is a beautiful thing, and if we don't follow that, if we don't keep that kind of love thing together, and when you have a partner and you have a woman is cook for you, a woman washing your clothes, a woman seeing about your children, a woman seeing about your all the things that you need to see. You cannot want to bust a woman's face because she disagree with you. So all these things is things that you have to tell the men. And if we start to work in community and talk in communities, how to treat a woman must be treated with love.
And I agree with you, Mr. Ferguson. We need to treat all women with love. Now, before we wrap up this interview, we would ask you to share with us any information about your association. I know you're calling on the government for their intervention. Share your information as well. So any woman looking on, any man looking on that is interested in doing better, especially when it comes to catering to all women, share your contact information so that they can get in contact with your members who are on the ground.
Well, our contact is 323-0261 or 775-9580, or you could reach us at in our page, our Trinidad and Tobago Staff Iron page. We on TikTok, we on different. We all over. It is not very hard to contact us, and we this morning before I come on, there's women who have a woman that has 7 children. She's asking for our help, and we just get this call every single day for people who need our help, because people see we going around into community and community helping women and also men. So our thing is helping, and we will always be around to assist the women. Some women who want counseling. That is my work. I love to bring back women and men together. Sometimes if you think your relationship going down the worst of the road, I could help to bring it back, because there is something that is missing in the relationship that sometimes people don't understand.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ferguson, for all the help that you are providing to men and women in society. It has been such an interesting conversation. Thank you so much for all your members are also doing as well. And it was a pleasure to have you here with us on Tobago Updates.
Thank you, and thank you for your station, and thank you for your viewers.
All right, viewers. So we have to go for a short break, but when we come back, we continue the conversations on violence against women. So do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. When we come back, we continue our discussions.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
Bagatelle, Mason Hall South. The Blue Wave is coming to you on Tuesday, December 16th, 5:30 p.m. at Windy's Supermarket Car Park, Bagatelle. Join us for a special evening of prayer and worship, followed by our community meeting at 6 p.m. Come hear your candidate, Natisha Charles Panton, the competent, consistent, and community-driven leader. Joining her, the political leader of the Tobago People's Party and the Honorable Chief Secretary, Fali Chavez Augustine. Come hear the voices shaping Tobago's future. Show up and be counted on Tuesday, December 16th, 5:30 p.m. at Windy's Supermarket Car Park, Bagatelle. Tobago People's Party, anchored in truth, rising with you.
That was a paid political advertisement.
The Elections and Boundaries Commission wishes to inform all qualified persons who are not registered or are in doubt about their registration status that the electoral registration for the upcoming Tobago House of Assembly elections has begun. There are 8 days left to get your name on the revised list of electors. The final day for electoral registration is Tuesday, 23rd of December, 2025. Check your registration status on the EBC's website at www.ebctt.com or visit your registration area office to ensure your correct name and address are on the preliminary list of electors. To vote is your right, but you must be registered. For further information, please call the EBC hotline at 785-8206 or 785-8211. A message from the Elections and Boundaries Commission, your partners in democracy.
Tobago.
This coming Wednesday, 17th December, is the last day to buy your winning ticket for
the Queen's Royal College 3-car raffle.
I want a piece of pork. I want a piece of pork from the Christmas.
First prize is a luxurious, fully loaded Royal Ride Ford Ranger. Draw date Saturday, December 20th at the school. Tickets only $100. All proceeds for the further uplifting of the school. Tickets available from islandetickets.com. Stumpy's Emporium Canaan, Cad Supermarket, Lowlands, Terry Brown Supermarket, Mount Pleasant, Pablo Supermarket, Argyle, Miles Almondos and Company Limited, Scarborough, Yachts Marketing, TV Mart, Bonaccord, Cost Cutters, Sharon Bookstores, Lowlands, Police Credit Union, Caribbean Jewelers, Lowlands, Jade Monkey Bar, Milford Road, Crown Point.
Don't be lucky and coward. Get your tickets now.
Queen's Royal College Christmas 3-car raffle.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
Deltec Distributors Christmas Specials is here. Choose from our festive meat packages at unbeatable prices, perfect for your holiday feast. Hurry, limited packages. Order now. Package 1, $4.99. 11 pounds of leg of Thai chicken, 5 pounds pork, 5 pounds turkey, 1 picnic ham, 1-liter pear jacks. Package 2, $4.99. 11 pounds leg of Thai chicken, 5 pounds pork, 5 pounds turkey cubes, 1 chicken ham, 1-liter pear jacks. Package 3, $600. 11 pounds leg of Thai chicken, 5 pounds pork, 5 pounds turkey wings, 1 whole turkey, 1-liter pear jacks. Package 4, $535. 11 pounds leg of Thai chicken, 5 pounds pork, 5 pounds turkey wings, 3 pounds fish ham, 1-liter pear jacks for $359-5040 or 237-0102. Delivery available for just $20. Deltec Distributors, Main Road, Argyle, Tobago.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. It's who we are and the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. We're deepening our commitment to the region, continuing to invest in the networks, services, and digital solutions that move Caribbean businesses forward. Whether you are a mid-sized business or multinational player, we bring you resilient connectivity, personalized service, and tailored IT solutions, all powered by local teams that truly have your back. We're here to help you navigate challenges, grow, and achieve your goals with practical solutions, reliable networks, and a partnership rooted in trust and your long-term success. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Ho, 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 ho! Merry Christmas!
What's on your Christmas wish list? And can you do it with $75,000 at 0.75%? Bethel Credit Union is making your Christmas wishes come true with our 75 in 25 Christmas loan sale. Get up to $75,000 in loans at a special 0.75% interest rate as we celebrate 75 years of service, strength, and community. So, whether it's home upgrades, holiday travel, or treating the ones you love, we've got you covered. Bethel Credit Union, we see you and we're here for you.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships, it's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
It's Christmas time again, and if you're looking for somewhere to get all your Christmas decorations, you'll find the right place. Christmas trees, jingle bells, pine cones, gift boxes, ornaments, flowers, and so much more. And 'tis the season to give. Get a wide variety of toys from dolls, bicycles, racing cars, toy trucks, board and card games, and everything in between. Get your gift wrapping paper and gift bags too. Whatever decorations you need this Christmas, we have it at Terrific Ideas.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to Tobago Updates Morning Show. We are continuing the conversation where we're talking about violence, but we're here with Miss Shelley Ann, and she's here to talk about the Draw the Line initiative that will be held on December 17. Good morning, Miss Lyons, and welcome.
Good morning, and thanks for having me this morning.
Okay, so Ms. John, we just wanted to find out, what is the Draw the Line Against Violence really about? Just give us an idea about what that initiative is.
All right, so this is an initiative that is brought to us between the UN and UNFPA, and we are collaborating as the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection. We are collaborating with UNFPA Caribbean, UN Women Caribbean, and the UN Residence Coordinator. This is a preventative program. Normally when we think of violence, we often see the reactive approach, but we are looking at this proactive approach. So it's a preventative initiative where we would have a program tomorrow in which we're going to talk more about as we go.
Okay, so you said let's get into the program one time, and give us some details in terms of what persons could expect out of the program.
All right, so out of the program, we are going to start with Art in Actions. Art in Action is a drama group from Trinidad, and what we would be doing is using drama to educate. Through Art in Action, we are going to have realistic a depiction of what violence looks like and how it can begin. Now, what this performance is going to reflect is a situation where people can recognize violence at home, in schools, in the workplace, and even within the wider community. Now, the important part of the skit is not that it would just show the problem, but it's going to just demonstrate this everyday form of violence, but it teaches you how you can diffuse conflict, which leads to violence, and how you can induce logics and interpret harmful behaviors, right? Our message with this would be clear. Everyone has a role in peace building. That is what we are trying to promote.
Thank you, Miss John. I know you're talking about the art in the drama group that we come in to depict these real life scenarios, but I know even though we are having a conversation not just in the public space, maybe among our peers, do you still think that this violence thing is still something that is taboo to society, especially when we hear violence, we always think about gender-based, especially when it comes to a woman. Does it encompass children or men or women, especially when we're talking about taboo subjects, especially around violence?
That's an excellent question. Recently, I was looking at an ad where some statistics was done, and when we spoke to violence, we speak mainly to women and girls. But violence, everyone experiences violence, both men and boys also. Physical violence, you may find that more women experience physical violence, but more men may experience psychological, verbal violence. The message is clear. What we do not understand, though, is that violence is not isolated to physical. Physical violence starts way back. It starts with verbal violence. And verbal violence is normalized. It's like nothing. We are accustomed to it. It becomes a part of our everyday life. But when there is verbal violence, it is very easy to transition into physical violence. So yes, both men and boys, along with girls and women, would experience. You know, the stats, even if I go to women, it states that nearly 1 in 3 women have experienced some form of violence within their lifetime.
So, in terms of the verbal and what's the other type of violence?
So we have verbal, apart from physical,
Yes,
we have
apart from the
verbal,
physical.
psychological, and sexual.
Right. So apart from the verbal and the apart from the physical, there's the verbal and the psychological. Well, we're well acquainted with what sexual violence looks like and what physical violence looks like. But we have problems in our society, particularly in identifying what psychological and verbal violence looks like. Can you help us or help the public as well to identify what those things can look like?
Right, so verbal violence would be basically how we speak to each other. The things that we say, you know, I'll cuff you, I'll slap you down, I'll kick you, those kinds of things, how we speak to each other. But we are so accustomed to speaking in this aggressive manner that it is
a cultural norm.
It is a cultural norm, and you would hear people say, I ain't mean nothing, that's how I just talk. Yeah, but verbal violence would be the threats that we make to each other, those sort of things that we do, those threats. Now, these would become psychological manipulation. When you manipulate someone, eventually it becomes psychological because violence is basically instilling fear.
Just to keep on the verbal violence, now you gave some examples where it's a threat of violence. But are there other types of verbal violence and not necessarily a threat of violence? They may be intended to harm you emotionally or otherwise?
Yes. Yes, there are where you can feel, based on what you are saying to the person, it can affect their well-being, their self-confidence, their self-concept, and it will harm you emotionally, which is going to affect you psychologically.
Now, why do you believe that violence of these natures are still existing, even though we are having all of these campaigns and legislation, and you're seeing things being posted on the TV, on internet? Why is it that it's still so prevalent that we still have to be having these campaigns so intensely?
There is something called breaking the silence. Many of us would know of individuals, of our neighbor, or someone who is going through some form of abuse or some violent act, and we're gonna just talk among ourselves and never report it. When you come from an affluent family, or even a family that is recognized in society, you would hardly speak of this violence. And then when you speak of the violence, what happens? So I think it is a wider conversation where we have to network, where we have to have those steps. When I report this, what happens? as a male, if I am going through this, who would take me seriously? And we would have to tap into the FBOs and those other NGOs to do more work. We would have to share with persons that this is harmful and it is not normal. Remember, if you start with verbal violence, I may end up blaming myself. I may feel that I deserve the physical violence. So it's for persons to understand that I have to draw the line. I have to take responsibility, and this is unacceptable. So the goal would be to empower persons to know that I am of value and this is not what life is supposed to be for me.
No, I know that this would not have been your first or your department's first attempt at raising this level of awareness and to change minds and change attitudes towards these types of violence. But throughout the years, have you seen any progress in terms of how people behave, how people report it, that kind of thing?
What we have seen, but we hardly would have men coming in. But for females, we would have seen more females coming in, more females empowering themselves, deciding that they are going to leave the relationship. They want it better for themselves and better for the family, better for their children. This empowerment would have happened through counseling, where persons really recognize that I am in an unhealthy relationship and I need to get out of it. So we are seeing persons just empowering themselves and recognizing that I want better for me, I want better for my children.
Now, what support systems are currently available at the division, apart from counseling that you would have mentioned earlier, that people can have access to in the event that they are experiencing violence?
Okay, so when someone is experiencing violence, the first place they would normally go to is the Gender Support Unit. So we have a Gender Support Unit on the Diversity and Inclusion subunit. So Diversity and Inclusion is the unit and Gender Support is the subunit. Once they enter there, the intake process is done and an assessment. Based on that assessment, this person would be forwarded to the relevant places. We have if the person has to leave immediately their home, we can provide through TEMA 72-hour support for them, where we give you a safe space. Then we can provide rental assistance for that person, where we put you up in a safe space with rental assistance. We are going to give you food support once needed. We will have the children placed into counseling, the parent placed into counseling, the mother placed there also. And we are going to look for any possibility where we can rehabilitate this family, where we look for support outside of us, support that they may have to assist the situation. But within the division, basically all our units would take a role. If in trying to empower this person, we look at, do you have any skills, any talents that we can help you develop? We have the REACH program where we would give you a grant to start a small business, because most times the income is not enough to sustain the entire family. So we look at it in a holistic manner and we take you from where you are and try to bring you to a place of stability.
Now, Ms. John, I just want to go back a bit. You spoke to the fact that men don't report it as much. Now, we know that women have been in the majority of victims in terms of violence within a domestic setting. And as such, women are very attuned to what violence towards them look like, and they're more likely to have this discourse and to talk about it and to report it and to seek help. Whereas because men are not very accustomed to being subjected to that type of violence, they may not know how to identify that they're in a violent situation. They may not be able to they may not have that consciousness to say, this is not right, I'm in a violent situation, I need to get help. What does the unit do, or how has the unit seen this as a problem and sought to address it in terms of bringing that sort of awareness to men so that they will be able to identify when they're in a situation when they need help?
All right, so we would have recently had a program called The Inner Man, where we had over roughly about 80 persons attending an all-day program. And what it dealt with was dealing with men and their emotions, the inner man, that holistic man, not just the physical man, because we felt that while the outer man needs nourishing, the inner man needed it also. It was an opportunity to allow men that space to express themselves, the space to talk. And we were very surprised that men were opening up. Men were talking. Well, obviously the facilitator was a male. We tried to keep it male-centered as much as possible. Earlier this year, we also had a stakeholders meeting where we dealt with men issue. I would say as a division and as a country, we need to do much more as it relates to empowering men, to having men come to the forefront. We need, in the social sector though, we need more males. So I can say within our unit, I could probably count how many males we have in the helping profession. In the therapeutic counseling section, we have 9 counselors, and among the 9, only 1 male. So when a man comes in and he's being abused, and men would mostly experience, as we know, verbal abuse, because you know, women and the tongue, you know, right? And they may not want to see a female, but we have 1 man who can do this. When they go to the gender unit, well, thankfully we have a male in the gender unit, and when they go to social support unit, it's only females. All right, so we need to have our males studying psychology, social work, you know, doing more things in the social sciences. And that in itself is going to help to have that voice, that awareness. But we definitely need to have this conversation around men, having men understand that you can speak to and being empathetic towards them.
Now, piggybacking a bit off of what Akinlabi said, he was saying that men, they don't usually open up. Now, are there any support groups that you are aware of that men can go to where they talk and they have these conversations? Because I know we'd have seminars and sessions where people can come together and make it male-centered for the men to talk, but after that, what next? Because in conversations with some men, they feel as though they are only thought about when it's International Men's Day. And then after International Men's Day, there's this silence until International Men's Day again, or there's a suicide with a male involved. Are there any support groups that are continuous throughout the year that they can go to, or anyone that you know of that is probably being developed so that they can be a part of that?
Apart from the youth groups that they would have, I am not aware. I can research, but I am happy to be here because you just gave me an excellent idea. So the division, I could speak with the gender unit. So we can start to have this conversation and just have this safe place for men to talk, for men to air how they feel about situations. So that is an excellent idea to have on the island. Yeah.
All right, Miss Shellyan John, head of the Department of Social Protection Department, we want to thank you very much for coming on air and speaking to us about the Draw the Line Against Violence, and we wish all the success come December the 17th in your initiative, and we pray that you'll go from strength to strength and we can really tackle the issue of violence within our society in Tobago.
Okay, thank you. It has been a pleasure also. And I am inviting everyone tomorrow. It is free and it is right here in front of the Port Mall. Come down from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. where you would have this opportunity to be in this interactive session and learn more about empowering yourself and prevention against violence. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much. Viewers, unfortunately, we've come to the end of our programming in the Tobago Updates morning show, but we have GMT up next. Yes, GMT is up next, so do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
this year's summit, it takes a slight different approach compared to last year. Based on the persons who had came, the students who had came, we felt that we should have a section focused for the students because that is where the agri-technology would start from, where the innovators are. So this year we take our focus on the students as well as we incorporated different persons within the country of Trinidad and Tobago, and we got exhibitors from right here on this island who are invested in innovation and agriculture and technology.
Produce Tobago is an online multi-vendor marketplace website which facilitates buying and selling along the agricultural value chain. So if you are selling agricultural inputs like fertilizer or seedlings, you can sell on the website. If you're an agro-processor, you could also sell your pepper sauces, your nuts, that sort of stuff on the website. Even if you provide agricultural services, as it says, it's agricultural technology, and I think that this is innovative in and of itself to bridge gaps in the agricultural landscape. So I felt like it was important to bring it to the people of Tobago.
I help companies, farmers, food processors, anywhere along the value chain, build and implement their food safety and quality management systems, as well as an educator, because that's where it starts. I think that it is important because it helps you not only be current and up to date, but with so many changes happening in the climate, it's important to leverage technology so that you don't be at a loss. Why not use the technology that we have available to us? Don't be afraid of it, to empower your operations so that you can be more efficient, effective and profitable in the long run.
I'm here at the summit today to learn more about agriculture and to know how far agriculture can get. So normally I might think, well, agriculture is hard work, you had to labor, but coming to the summit teach me that how, well, agriculture is getting easier.
It's indeed a pleasure to be here today at the summit. On one hand, we're here to learn and grow as well, because, you know, with education, it's a thing that you keep learning as you go on. At the same time, we're also here to provide information on the impacts of forestry and the relevant information to stakeholders who will be here today.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
It's a brand new morning.
morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And guys, you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting topics and conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. A total of 8 Tobago-based steel orchestras have successfully secured their spot in the semi-final round after remarkable performances at the Trinbago Panorama Preliminaries 2026, showcasing the island's musical excellence on the national stage. Leading the Tobago contingent is the Uptown Fascinator Steel Orchestra, which delivered a stellar performance to tie for second place with a score of 269 points. They are closely followed by TNTech New Eastside Dimension, which secured a strong fourth place tie with 267 points. The qualifying Tobago bands and their official scores are as follows. In second place, Uptown Fascinator Steel Orchestra with 269 points. Fourth place, TNTech Eastside Dimension with 267 points. In 10th place, Alpha Pan Pioneers with 262 points. 11th place, First Citizens Tobago Panthers Steel Orchestra with 261 points. In 16th place, Plymouth Bethesda Steel Sensation with 258 points. In 25th place, All Boys Steel Orchestra with 248 points. In 27th place, West Side Symphony Steel Orchestra with 246 points. And in 27th place, C&B Crown Point Cordons Steel Orchestra with 246 points. The top positions nationally went to Southern Stars Steel Orchestra with 272 points. The qualified bands will now move forward to the semi-finals, where they will compete for a place in the grand finals. Additionally, the Division of Tourism, Culture and Antiquities and Transportation has issued a public advisory regarding the temporary closure of the Mount Irving Beach facility. According to the division, the facility will be closed to the public on Monday, December 15th, and today, Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. The closure is necessary to facilitate scheduled chemical treatments at the site. The advisory noted that the closure encompasses the entire facility, including the main building, lawn areas, and the concession areas. The division has confirmed that regular operations are scheduled to resume on Wednesday, December 17th. Officials have apologized for any inconvenience with the temporary disruption that may be caused and have thanked the public for their understanding as they undertake the necessary maintenance works at this time. And finally, the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs has issued a statement informing the public that the ministry has granted approval for the United States military aircraft to transit Trinidad and Tobago's airports in the coming weeks. The United States has indicated that these movements are strictly logistical, facilitating supply replenishment and routine personnel rotation. Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, Sean Sobers, welcomed the continued collaboration, noting that Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has affirmed the government's dedication to pursuing safety in the wider region. On the heels of this development, the government of Venezuela has cancelled all future gas deals with Trinidad and Tobago. And that was our news in 90 seconds. This morning we jump straight ahead into our discussion, and I have the privilege of sitting here in studio with the CEO of Caribbean Book Marketing Hub and no stranger to us here on Tobago Updates, Mrs. Jewel Green George. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Chanel.
Good morning. We're talking today about World Digital Marketing Day. And for persons who don't know, tell us a little bit about what that includes and, you know, why your company has decided to take note and celebrate this today.
Well, World Digital Marketing Day is a day that started in 2018, actually, by an online Facebook group. And they were focused on disseminating information about digital marketing. And World Digital Marketing Day for us as authors, because I represent authors. I'm the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Writers Guild, but beside that, I focus in my business on helping authors market themselves, their books, and their products. And digital marketing is part of that activity of marketing yourself as an author.
Excellent. And one of the aspects of digital marketing are often surrounding personal branding. Does your business focus as well on personal branding components outside of just book marketing? Do you market the authors as well?
Yes and no. So it really depends on the type of marketing the author is comfortable with. And as we know, we do have a lot of introverts who are authors. So it really is a balance, a dance between them putting themselves out as an individual brand and working on making sure that their books are seen and their products are seen. So while we do look at the branding itself and letting the authors come to a level of comfort with having the public view them, hear them, see them, and know them, we really focus on the books and we focus on the products. But we can't get away from focusing on the author, of course.
Right. And even as the CEO of the Caribbean Book Marketing Hub, TT, tell us about some of the books that you would have worked with recently that persons may have seen and not know that your company was behind that.
Well, one of the books I like to talk about is the marketing production we did for the past Port of Spain mayor. That would be Mr. Louis Leasing, and he did a couple books. So his latest book is In Between the Gutter, right? And he's talking about the issue of being what they call an unhoused person in Port of Spain. So that life of being homeless, what we call vagrancy. And those are some of the things that we are doing to make sure that authors get that push. We also have worked with an Australian author. Well, he's in the diaspora, but that Australian author, he has a book, Carnival is Me. And he is a panist, and he pushes himself not just as an author of a book, but also as a brand in terms of making sure that he's that connection, that bridge between the diaspora and the Caribbean and as well Trinidad and Tobago, but also for disseminating information about the steel pan and about that kind of entertainment industry to the people in Australia.
Right. And even as it is International Digital Marketing Day, do you have any specials that persons can look forward to benefiting from, any packages? Tell us about that.
Well, what we like to do is to introduce persons to our free workshop. And the reason why we do this workshop is to get persons to understand this phrase that was coined by an Australian author, Hazel Edwards, of entrepreneur. So not an entrepreneur, but an authorpreneur. And what we're looking at in that workshop is how the author now can pivot, change their mindset, shift the paradigm to instead just looking at their books as a lead product and this is the only source of income, but to looking at creating multiple streams of income as an author. So the book is their business card and the cover is their silent salesperson, but they are creating a stream of income from the different products they would create, such as workbooks, journals, and of course this is more true for those who write nonfiction, those who are into textbooks.
Right. And, you know, you have emphasized the importance of a well-defined audience in your space. Tell us about how some Tobago authors can use their limited resources or limited knowledge to really maximize their marketing potential.
Well, what I advocate is that authors look really at that hyper-local, high engagement strategy. And what does that mean? That looks at making sure that you become a notable voice, a notable literary voice in the Tobago space. And that can apply wherever you may be, because we do work with authors across the region. So wherever you are, you want to make sure that you maximize your space to make sure that, you know, the community knows that you have a book. The community knows what products you have. And this is not a strange concept to them should somebody come come and say, have you heard of so-and-so author from outside,
Right.
do you know of this book from this author? They should be able to say, of course, yes, we are very well versed with their work here in Tobago.
Understood. And I'm not sure if you are still hosting the book club corner, if that show is still on right now, but I know you usually you have your seasons where you host that. Even using television as a means of marketing books, do you think that is still relevant in this time?
Well, it is. It's a balance. It's a marriage between the digital space and that traditional media space. And what we're looking at is, while the social media creates that buzz, creates, that momentum, we're looking at the traditional media space where it creates, provides a level of legitimacy for the author and mass distribution, right? Mass visibility that social media does not do. Social media is where you can connect with your readership one-on-one. You can have conversations, right? You can message and talk back. But what you do also want is to be able to have the nation, or whether you're in a local community and there's a local TV station or radio station, you want to have them see and hear you and your books.
Understood. And for the persons who may have or currently writing a book on their vision board for 2026, where do they start and how can they get into contact with you?
Well, a person who wants to start to write a book, first you have to have the understanding that your voice is legitimate, your voice is valid, and your work should be seen. Because a lot of persons, they try to say, well, I would like to write a book one day, but today is that day. I would say to a person, don't leave it till next year and next year. Don't keep pushing it back, but address it immediately, because it's quite a long-term project. It's not as short-term sometimes as people may think. So I would say for those who have, 2026 is coming up and you're looking to put it on your vision boards, as you're saying, I would say make sure that you have a plan. Talk to authors, talk to different persons who have written books. And if you don't have somebody you can speak to, you can go on social media and follow them, see what's happening with them, how they're rolling out their books and so on. So if you want to get in contact with Caribbean Book Marketing Hub, you can find us on Facebook and on Instagram as Caribbean Book Marketing. And you can also find us on Twitter as Carib Book Market.
Understood. Are you currently an author or working on any literary works?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I am.
Okay.
So I'm one of those authors who keeps delaying and saying to themselves, I don't know if I'm finished yet. So I've sent the book to the editor, and this book is called The Basics of Book Marketing.
Oh.
And I've sent the book to the editor, and I keep telling them, I want to add something more. I want to add something more as things evolve. But as authors, you do have to have a cutoff time, and I'm giving myself 2026 as the cutoff time. So you will see that book coming out in 2026.
Understood. And, what about the persons who look at writing a book as, a huge mountain to climb? And how can persons begin to look at it in a more doable way? Where they can probably break it down into segments and get it done maybe chapter by chapter without feeling stuck. I know a lot of persons talk about writer's block. How do you get through these things? Is it that persons should attend workshops and connect with other authors? How should persons really go about conquering that mountain of writing a book?
Well, that's such a great question, because a lot of persons think it is this monumental task. I mean, a lot of us have that idea when we say author. We talk about Earl Lovelace, we're talking about Anthony, we're looking at these big authors. We're looking at, persons who have Pulitzer Prizes and, all of these things. But I would say, let's break it down into some small bits. Instead of looking at it on a macro level, look at it on a micro level. How do we eat an elephant, so to speak? We take it one bite at a time. So I would say it always helps. The more information you have, for some, it may daunt you when you get all this information. But if you are equipped, you understand what's at stake and what the process is. So I would say get some information, arm yourself with information about the process, whether you want to become a self-published author or you want to go the route of being a traditionally published author, because it does entail a lot of different work. And once you've decided that, I would say start to put your passion on the page. Whatever your passion is, start to write.
Right.
You need not have the book, all together in your head all at once, because you do need to write one chapter at a time.
Right.
So have that in your head.
Okay, and for the persons who may have, written theses before and that type of thing, do you recommend the same approach in that way, or do you think writing books are different and more creative and can allow for some, spontaneity as it pertains to where do you start or where do you write? Because, even when you're doing research or writing a thesis, usually you start off with the overall concept or the hypothesis. And then, you kind of break that into portions. You have the sections that you're going to go through, and then you begin doing the research on every section by reading other person's books and stuff like that. Do you recommend persons take that type of structured approach, or just let it flow in a sense?
Well, to write a thesis, as we know, it's quite a weighty endeavor. But one of the good things about having a thesis, it is actually already a book. It's a manual. And we have examples such as Miss Elizabeth Montano, who turned her thesis, King of Soca, into a book. And this is a good template for a person to follow if they're looking to say, I'm going from an academic thesis towards having a book published. And it's no different, because we all know a passion is a passion. Whether your passion is for non-fiction or for fiction, it allows you that creative space to say, you know what, I want to look at this problem or this situation in a particular way with a new lens. I've seen other persons do it this way, but this is how I'm looking at it. And that's one of the things we're looking at Caribbean Book Marketing Hub. It doesn't matter whether you're doing fiction or non-fiction, and theses fall under non-fiction. And there is no difference as far as I can see in terms of the creativity that you can put into your thesis and then translate it into a book. And I have to go back again to Miss Montano's book, because what she did with her book is, while she was looking at the process of making a King of Soca, she also looked at an individual case study,
Right.
who is her son. And there is passion, there is a creativity in the way that she presented it, and going back to her book launch as well. So her book launch wasn't simply to say, hey, I've written a thesis that I've turned into a book. It really documented and, logged how his career progressed. So she, at her book launch, had some, at different stages of his career, some of his signature outfits for different, concerts and performances. She had it there to display.
Right.
So it gave an interactive
Right.
feel.
It's
So I
alive.
would say it's no different. You simply have to be more creative in terms of making the material interesting if it's a thesis turned a book.
Right. And, finally, can you remind our audience about the workshop that's happening and how they can be a part of that and how they can get into contact with you?
Well, for 2026, we are looking at doing the workshop, which is marketing for Caribbean entrepreneurs. And we're also going to be partnering with Latoya Roberts and doing an event that is going to be looking at having authors come sit in a space where they can make sure that their writing is focused on, because a lot of times we are distracted with our writing, right? Life is going on while we're writing. So we want to make sure that that happens. So we're doing a writers retreat in 2026. And those are some of the things that writers can look out for, and they can find the information as we share it on our Facebook, on our Instagram, and that's at Caribbean Book Marketing. And if it's on Twitter, it's Carib Book Market. And they can also find information about not just what we're doing, but the kinds of services that we offer there.
Excellent. Well, we want to thank you so much for being on that side of the table this morning, and we're wishing you all the best with your workshop, and possibly publishing your writing next year, right? And no longer procrastinating on that.
Definitely.
Well, guys, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back after this. See you soon.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
We have an anchor that keeps the soul.
Bacalet, Bagatelle, Mason Hall South. The Blue Wave is coming to you on Tuesday, December 16th, 5:30 p.m. at Wendy's Supermarket Car Park, Bagatelle. Join us for a special evening of prayer and worship, followed by our community meeting at 6 p.m. Come hear your candidate, Natisha Charles Panton, the competent, consistent, and community-driven leader. Joining her, the political leader of the Tobago People's Party and the Honorable Chief Secretary, Farley Chavez Augustine. Come hear the voices shaping Tobago's future. Show up and be counted on Tuesday, December 16th, 5:30 p.m. at Wendy's Supermarket Car Park, Bagatelle. Tobago People's Party, anchored in truth, rising with you.
That was a paid political advertisement.
The Elections and Boundaries Commission wishes to inform all qualified persons who are not registered or are in doubt about their registration status that the electoral registration for the upcoming Tobago House of Assembly elections has begun. There are 8 days left to get your name on the revised list of electors. The final day for electoral registration is Tuesday, 23rd of December, 2025. Check your registration status on the EBC's website at www.ebctt.com or visit your registration area office to ensure your correct name and address are on the preliminary list of electors. To vote is your right, but you must be registered. For further information, please call the EBC hotline at 785-8206 or 785-8211. A message from the Elections and Boundaries Commission, your partners in democracy.
Tobago. This coming Wednesday, 17th December, is the last day to buy your winning ticket for the Queen's Royal College 3-car raffle.
I want a piece of pork. I want a piece of pork from the Christmas.
First prize is a luxurious, fully loaded Royal Ride Ford Ranger. Draw date Saturday, December 20th at the school. Tickets only $100. All proceeds for the further uplifting of the school. Tickets available from islandetickets.com. Stumpy's Emporium Canaan, Cad Supermarket Lowlands, Terry Brown Supermarket Mount Pleasant, Pablo Supermarket Argyle, Miles Almondos and Company Limited Scarborough, Yachts Marketing, TV Mart Bonaccord, Cost Cutters, Sharon Bookstores Lowlands, Police Credit Union, Caribbean Jewelers Lowlands, Jade Monkey Bar Milford Road Crown Point. Don't be lucky and coward. Get your tickets now. Queen's Royal College Christmas 3-car raffle.
It's Christmas time again, and if you're looking for somewhere to get all your Christmas decorations, you'll find the right place. Christmas trees, jingle bells, pine cones, gift boxes, ornaments, flowers, and so much more. And 'tis the season to give. Get a wide variety of toys, from dolls, bicycles, racing cars, toy trucks, board and card games, and everything in between. Get your gift wrapping paper and gift bags too. Whatever decorations you need this Christmas, we have it at Terrific Ideas.
You better not cry, better not cry, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa
the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch, breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, buljoil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meats served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds.
Ho, 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 ho! Merry Christmas!
What's on your Christmas wish list? And can you do it with $75,000 at 0.75%? Bethel Credit Union is making your Christmas wishes come true with our 75 in 25 Christmas loan sale. Get up to $75,000 in loans at a special 0.75% interest rate as we celebrate 75 years of service, strength, and community. So, whether it's home upgrades, holiday travel, or treating the ones you love, we've got you covered. Bethel Credit Union, we see you and we're here for you.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I'm your host, Chanel Felix. And guys, this morning we jump straight ahead into our conversations. We are chatting this morning with Mr. Edward Jones, who is the co-coordinator, as well as Pastor Eloise Hines, this from Destiny Empowerment Global Ministries. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Nice
So this morning we are chatting about Conscious Meets Christ. Tell us a bit about that.
Good morning, Tobago. Welcome everybody who is watching wherever they are. Basically, it's a street evangelism event. Basically, what happens is that as we go into communities, as we meet communities and that kind of thing, we engage a lot of the young men in our societies, young people and people in general as we go. And part of one of the things that basically most people love is music. Most people have dreams of either being a musician, at one point in time or something like that. But it's basically we capture that nature that they have of one day being able to do something with their talent, because a lot of our people are talented. And we just meet with them, and I think what had happened initially was that when we recognized that they had this talent, we said, well, let's bring them to a stage, let's bring them to a place. And when they were there, we brought some of our friends, like the Blessed Messengers and those type of people back in the day. And we met with one big sort of street concert event. And we were able at that time to have a captive audience for a lot of our, women of God and that kind of thing to come in and treat, bring the word and that kind of thing. And it has been very, very successful. A lot of people have really found Jesus, found a better life, have changed their lives permanently to a lot of young men. So it's something that we really proud of. We thank God that He has given us this particular tool. And this is what it's basically about.
Right, and Pastor Hines, can you tell us a bit about what communities this would be taking place in? Is it just one place, or would it be roving? Tell us about that.
Minister Ted is really the one with the vision, but right now we are going to be in Spring Garden, the Tobago Downtown Electrical Building, where we are occupying the upstairs to have our weekly services. So we are starting in the community that we are at. And of course, we are going to be taking it in other places, including Trinidad, right? The scope is that we are not just going to take, because God has given us a mandate to take the gospel throughout the world. We know by now, starting in our own Jerusalem, so to speak, and then branching off into different parts of the community. So we are definitely looking to even take it global, because we understand what's happening in our society today, and we are of the firm belief that the message of the gospel can change lives, can impact lives, and can see us having a better society.
Right, and is there a particular criteria for persons to participate in that? Because when we think about, possibly conscious to meet Christ, we think about, like the reggae music and that type of genre.
Yes.
Who is invited? Who can come? What about the guys singing the Trinidad music? Can they convert that into something that praises God and come and be a part of it?
Well, that's an excellent question. Actually, what happened is that when we first started this thing, we were doing a walkabout in the community of Bethel, and there was in fact a group of young men on the side of the road with their music systems and their microphones, and they were doing their Trinidad stuff, and I mean really bad stuff. I mean with the guns and the lewdness and all of that. And as we were, and myself and Pastor Cordell McClure at the time, we were passing, and they called us and they said, because they knew me from another time when I sang and chanted and that kind of thing, and they said, well, come now boss, try a thing with us. And we did it. And of course it was impactful, because I don't think at the time they would have ever seen somebody like a minister or so in the community doing that with them. Of course I was singing something gospel. And they engaged us for a while, and this is actually how it started. So they engaged for a while, they kept wanting me to come back and do that. And I said, well, here's what, let's do a street show. You do your stuff, but we have to clean it up, because obviously I'm not going to be bringing women and children to hear you talk, and even great women. So bring the conscious vibe. You bring a conscious vibe. We can't expect, if you're not a Christian, for you to
sing gospel.
Sing gospel, but bring that. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to bring some of my friends. Right, so at the time we brought some of our friends, Gen X, who is going to be in this particular one again, right? And some of them. So we brought them up, people who had a life in the past of gangs and that kind of thing, and now basically singing and ministering. So we brought them, and it was, as I said, it became that. So the criterion was that initially, of course, was that if you had the talent in the area and you were willing to behave to participate in terms of writing a conscious song or re-singing a cover of something that you liked from in the past, that was most likely reggae, which is basically what the guys were into, then that was particularly what we were cool with, right? We weren't expecting people to to be saved before they were saved, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Right?
Right.
So clearly, they came, and as I said, the event turned out to be very, very, very impactful on their lives.
Right. Well, give us a little bit of insight into that. What did that impact look like? Connecting the guys that you met, in the community, on the streets,
Okay.
with people who had that past who are now in Christ. What was the response? What was the conversations? What were the interactions, and how did it impact them?
Okay, that's a great question, and I'll answer part, and I'll let Pastor Eloise answer part, because I will tell you why. The first part is basically the mechanism of getting the fish and getting them basically to a place of recognizing that they needed something higher. And then, of course, it's where the pastors come in, and sometimes this is a group effort of where, for example, they now have to tend to these, actually disciple them, pastor them. And the reason is that if you are, for example, you have a crime, or you have a criminal record, or you actually did a crime, the fact that you said yes to Jesus tonight doesn't mean that the consequences of that went away. If you are part of a gang, it doesn't mean that if they wanted to kill you yesterday, then suddenly tonight they don't want to kill you tomorrow. So obviously all of these things are part of what we have to deal with. So what we have done, what we did especially, is that, for example, in the first area, which was the Bethel area, Bethel at the time had a number of very interesting gangs, as it were, that were working in the area. So we had to get actually sometimes the police involved. So for example, for Conscious Meets Christ, because of who we were bringing into the melting pot, sometimes you would need maybe sometimes of order. So sometimes if the police saw it based on their assessment of it, they may bring in people. But when they brought in people, it wasn't so much to bring the guns and that kind of thing, although the guns were there, but it was to be a participant.
Yeah.
So we actually had police participating, doing their conscious songs and everything too. So it was basically that. So we meet them, they are on stage, then the preaching comes, the word comes, and usually we believe, of course, that the word itself does its work. The Holy Spirit does its work through the word. So then, and it did its work through the word. And when the men who were there, because they were there in that capacity, then they were kept. Well, of course, the word convicted them. The other thing, of course, is that we are very mindful that sometimes there are a lot of people in communities that do need help in terms of hamper help. Is Christmas, right?
Social support.
Social support and that kind of thing. So part of what we also do is that we also have hampers and that kind of thing for people who need it, because obviously telling somebody about Jesus when they're hungry is a different kind of story, right? So the thing is that we basically want to work on that also. So basically that's where we go. And as I said, Pastor Hines would tell you, for example, from the church perspective, how the church handles. Yes.
Right. Praise God. Well, God has sent us to disciple nations, to make disciples. And he said he came to seek and save the lost. So we first of all, there is that consciousness of where you find people in their situations. And of course, to extend the good news of the gospel to them, the basic good news of the gospel, Jesus Christ came, he died, he loves you. You respond to that. And that's only the first step. After that, of course, is to get you into a church family. Right, where it doesn't, and I'm saying this, without apology, it doesn't have to be at Destiny Empowerment Global Ministry, right? It can be wherever there's a local church that preaches the gospel, that you can participate, that you can fellowship, right? That you are comfortable growing in the knowledge of God. So after the initial receiving of that message of the salvation of Jesus, then of course you're what we call a newborn baby in Christ. You're a baby. You haven't been down this road before. And now it's our responsibility to work with you, to support you, to teach you the word of God so that you can begin to grow and make that conscious change that is necessary. As Minister Ted said, the change is not going to be abracadabra, right? But of course, the work has started in the heart, and therefore we now come and support you through Bible studies, through church fellowship, through supporting you to help you to grow in that walk with God. And that's where we come in.
Excellent. But we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back after this with much more on this conversation. See you soon.
Elections and Boundaries Commission wishes to inform all qualified persons who are not registered or are in doubt about their registration status that the electoral registration for the upcoming Tobago House of Assembly elections has begun. There are 8 days left to get your name on the revised list of electors. The final day for electoral registration is Tuesday, 23rd of December, 2025. Check your registration status on the EBC's website at www.ebctt.com or visit your registration area office to ensure your correct name and address are on the preliminary list of electors. To vote is your right, but you must be registered. For further information, please call the EBC hotline at 785-8206 or 785-8211. A message from the Elections and Boundaries Commission, your partners in democracy.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
Mount St. George, Goodwood. The TPP family will be at James Street Junction, Goodwood on Tuesday, 16th December at 7:30 p.m. Come hear your candidate, Miss Megan Morrison, who leads with passion and stands boldly for the voiceless. She will be joined by the political leader of the Tobago People's Party and the Honorable Chief Secretary, Mr. Farley Chavez Augustine. Show up and be counted on Tuesday, 16th December, 7:30 p.m. at James Street Junction, Goodwood. Tobago People's Party, anchored in truth, rising with you.
Goodwood, we vote in Megan, strong and steady, yeah, she's the slogan.
That was a paid political advertisement.
Back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. We have been chatting with Mr. Edward Jones, who is the coordinator of Conscious Meet Christ, as well as Pastor Eloise Hines from Destiny Empowerment Global Ministries. Guys, remind us of the time and the date for Conscious Meet Christ this year.
It is Friday, this Friday, the 19th. It starts at around 5:30, and I suggest that, everyone try to come in as early as possible. It's going to be and as we said, it's in Spring Garden on the compound of Downtown Electrical, where we actually have our church, Destiny Empowerment Global Ministries. It's basically going to start 5:30. We expect, as we said, that we're going to have hampers, we're going to have food on sale, we're going to have different things. We're going to have a lot of music, we're going to have a lot of ministry, because that's what it's about. And we're going to have some word, definitely, because at the end of the day, the work has to be done.
That's right.
The work of salvation and the work of evangelism has to be done. And that's going to be part of what we're going to be doing. And it's just going to be
fun.
Fun and fellowship. Fun and fellowship. It's going to be a wonderful time. The past times have, in fact, been so, and I don't see any difference with this one. The people of Spring Garden are amazing too. I just let them know that they are an amazing bunch of people. It's an amazing community. So I see that it would be exciting.
Right. And what is the parking situation like? Is there enough parking for everybody when they come in?
Well, let's
look
look
people
at
ask to park in a particular place and come.
Right. So there are some parking. I'm telling you, there are some parking. The businesses are very cooperative with us there. However, I would want to recommend that you come as early as possible if you want to walk as short as possible, right? But they know that there's also parking that we are talking to even further, because we are partnering with churches. It's not us alone, it's other churches. And we are very close there. Some good parking at the Montgomery, Moravian, Spring Garden, sorry. Spring Garden Moravian Church. So it's cool in that area, I think. But I think usually the benefit is to try to get there early, 5:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the music is going to start at 5:30.
Understood.
Yeah, or before.
Understood.
Yes.
A person's asked to RSVP before they come or just come down.
Just come
so
down,
you
it's a
have enough
community.
space to fit everyone.
It's a
that
street
comes
meeting,
in.
so it means that people can come, as you said, once the parking is taken care of. Some people may even want to be up further by their cars because they're going to be hearing the music. So just come through, bring your family, bring your friends and all of that, and let's come and have a good time. Yeah.
Right, and tell us about, your church, and if persons want to come down, how can they get in contact with you? What time is your service?
Right. So right now we are Destiny Empowerment Global Ministries. We are on the top floor of that beautiful building that Mr. Douglas has. Mr. Douglas, thank you so much for having us there. In fact, we recently moved there just about a few months ago. So we are new in the community as well, right? People would have known us before at Shore Park. So if people are looking at us, we have now moved to this new location. And our service time is 9 a.m. on Sunday mornings. Feel free to come in for a time of praise and worship and testimonies. Our services, we never have enough time for testimonies because of what God is doing in the lives of people. Just to mention quickly, one sister testified on Sunday that her door was locked and the Lord tell her use a key that not even for the door. And as she used the key that not for the door was open. So we are getting all kind of tremendous testimony of what God is doing. And of course we get the word of God and pray. You can't come to Destiny Empowerment Global Ministries and not get word and pray. Right? Our Bible study right now is on pause because, people are busy traveling for their Christmas and stuff. But we continue with prayer on Thursday nights on Zoom from 7 p.m. So that's what's happening, and all our other services are going to start back next year, which is youth meeting, Destiny Diamonds, men's ministry. So we have a place for everybody. Just get in touch with us and feel free to come.
Okay, excellent. And finally, do you already have all the artists that will be performing on Friday, or can persons reach out to be a part of it?
People are reaching out. The thing is that of course it's a time, we have now a time crunch. So as far from the gospel side of things, the gospel friends that we have, I think that avenue is full. You wanted to sing?
No.
Oh, I just want to. But that part is full. Obviously, we would want to be as accommodating as possible to as many of the people who are willing to comply, with the conscious part of things. And we'll see where it goes from there. Usually, when the show comes closer to the time, a lot of these guys do get a little bit stage shy. Right. Of course, as you can understand, but we think, and let me tell you, there are two additional incentives beside the hampers. We are one of the Shiraz, one of the businessmen in the area.
Yeah, the hardware.
The hardware has also volunteered offered sponsored a toolkit for one of the men. So whoever comes there on Friday night leaves, one of the gentlemen will leave with a toolkit. And the other one is that any one of the guys that we figure, the crowd favors will now get an opportunity to record, free that one song or a song of his preference. And don't have cussing in it, of course. Right? And so that's basically where we are at.
And of course, to add some of the ministers that's already confirmed, Minister Janex out of Trinidad, a really, really powerful brother who has been on the street and knows the life out there, and he's going to come, of course, with his testimony. We have Minister Tricia Sobers, everybody knows, been there and done that. We have Mr. Diligent himself, Minister Ted, full 100, and walk this walk. So they are, of course, the main artists on the cast, and then we have persons like Keon Trim, Axis the Band, and other persons from the gospel community, as well as those who will be joining us. So it's going to be a tremendous evening of fellowship. It's the Christmas season. Let's come out, let's have fun, let's just come and just be in that space where we can enjoy each other's company as well.
Excellent. I want to thank you guys so much for being here this morning and inviting us and, the entire Tobago to come out and be a part of Conscious Meets Christ this Friday at 7:30 p.m.
5:30 p.m.
5:30 p.m. Be there on time and be a part of it. And so, guys, we want to thank you for the initiative.
Thank you.
And we look forward to all the artists being here and, just a powerful fellowship with Christ.
Yes.
Amen.
Guys, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussions. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Chanel Felix, and have a great day.